Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney. Today is the summer edition of the Dollar Tree Mystery Box Challenge. If you missed the spring edition, I will make sure to link that playlist down below. Now let me tell you what this challenge is. There are 8 YouTubers participating in this challenge. Each of us was given the name of a DIY YouTuber. We were then tasked with going to Dollar Tree, purchasing 7 to 10 items, and making 2 of those items what we would consider challenge items. We were then to box those items up and send them to our YouTuber, and then what we're doing now is all the YouTubers are going to open their boxes on camera, and then we are supposed to create craft items, DIYs, using the items in the box. We can use items from our stash to help enhance it. Now, let me tell you first who I sent my box to. I sent it to Tracy from Country Charm Tracy. I will have a direct link to her video, so make sure you go check out what I sent her. Now, who did I get my box from? I got it from Jennifer from Little Bit of Common Crazy. So here is my box. I've been holding on to it for a while. I cannot wait to open it. So let's see what she sent me. Okay, on my box cutter. Now, I have to say that I talk to Jennifer pretty much every day on text message or on the phone. Same with Kristen K. And she even said, she goes, "Have you opened my box yet? I hope it's not too hard." And I was like, girl, I know you like a good competition, so I'm gonna say I'm a little nervous because I'm scared of her challenge items, I think, more than anything else. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, nope, it's extra tape. Hold on. Let's see what Jennifer has sent me. Okay, time to dig into this box. All right. Oh, these are so cute. I've never seen these at my Dollar Tree. So they are little 2x3. Come on, baby, focus over here. Hey, hey. It's got like a chevron pattern, and it's an easel with the little clip. So she sent me 3 of these. Not too bad, not too bad. A silver tray. All right. Got some, ooh, those are so pretty. I've never seen those. So these are the rub-on transfers. Here's some that are like greenery, boxwood type leaves. And then she sent me one of the cactus ones. Oh, my camera just likes my face more than these items. All right. One of these, take your time, with the little thing on top. Adhesive quartz sheet. Okay. So funny thing is, I see this at my Dollar Tree every time I go, and I always look at it thinking, I need to grab one of those, but I can never come up with an idea. I won't grab stuff from Dollar Tree unless I have somewhat of an idea. So this is definitely probably a little bit of a challenge item for me. We got a good size sign here, a year of first. So the big square sign, and then some long dowel rods. Those are always good. So those are what she considers fair game items, I guess. All right, now let's open these challenge items. Oh boy. I really am nervous because I'm telling you, I think she's like, I don't know, we'll see. Only open if you are feeling brave. I'm not feeling brave at all, but okay. Okay. All right, okay. So the little glass tea light, 3 of them in here. Okay, this is actually, okay. I don't know, this is challenging. Oh boy, okay. All right, last one. Only open if you're feeling really brave. Okay. Oh dear, I'm scared. Ah! Oh, okay. She sent me a wind chime. Oh, girl, okay. So I've done a DIY with one of these before, but it was still a wind chime. Like, I couldn't think of what else to come up with. Okay. All right, so these are my 2 challenge items. The glass, 3-pack of glass tea lights, and the wind chimes. All right, let's get crafting.
For the first DIY, I will be working with the silver tray. So because this is going to be a fall DIY and the bottom of this tray is black, I wanted to go ahead and paint it a little more of a fallish color. So I'll be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. I'm going to end up putting 2 coats of paint on the bottom of the tray, and then I'm going to flip it over and just do 1 light coat on the tray. I don't anticipate it showing through, but I just wanted to make sure that no little specks of silver might show through when I go to attach all the rope. Here are the supplies that I'm going to be using to enhance my tray. So I've got some yarn. This all came from Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love this yarn. I cannot remember the name of the brand, but they have so many colors. It's such a great thickness. It's soft. It just makes everything look so pretty. And then I've got, of course, the Dollar Tree nautical rope. So what I did was when I was on Pinterest scrolling around one day, I saw this table runner that had, it basically looked like rope that had been wrapped in embroidery floss to look like a rainbow, and it was super pretty. And so originally I was gonna try to like totally cover the rope, but I realized this is a pretty time-consuming DIY, so it's definitely one of those that you just want to plop down in front of a movie. But then what I decided to do was just go ahead and do random size segments of the yarn, alternating orange and the off-white, orange and the off-white. I'm just using hot glue to attach this, and again, no rhyme or reason. I'm just wrapping it around to whatever thickness I want to make each little segment. I don't end up using the green yarn because what I realized is by using just the orange and kind of the off-white, I can also use this tray for Halloween by putting maybe some black accents in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start by just wrapping some orange and white, and then once I get several little segments done, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this down. I've got several different little segments glued down, and as you can see, they are spread out. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason. Now, the reason I did decide to go ahead and start gluing this down as I go and wrap the rope around, so for instance, the first wrapping around the edge, when I get to the second one, I kind of want to strategically place where the next set of stripes are so that it kind of bumps up against a brown section of the row before it. I hope I'm explaining that okay. So that is why I chose to do it this way, is just go ahead and try to get as much as the first row wrapped around and then start just strategically kind of placing where I want the next ones. And then I'm going to keep doing this just for the 4 sides. The bottom, I'm not going to have the segments of the different colors. You certainly could go ahead and finish it off that way if you'd like, but I chose to go ahead and leave the bottom plain. Now here I wanted to show you, so this is how much one of the 13-foot strands of rope, it ended nicely in a corner, which was perfect. So all I'm going to do to start the next one is I'm just going to take that in and just kind of shove it up against that. And on the sides, there's going to end up being 6 sections or strips, I guess, of rope, and then that's it. So you definitely need at least 2 packs of the 13-foot nautical rope. I did have some left over in the second pack. There's Bailey dropping in to say hello and show me a bracelet she made. So I'm just going to keep wrapping this, and then once this row is finished, I'm ready to go ahead and finish up the bottom. And now I'm finishing up the bottom. So I got my 6 rows on each side, and then now all I have to do is just leave the nautical rope plain, and I'm just going to wrap it around and around and around and around until I get to the center, and I'm just using hot glue to get it all smushed down and covered up. this second DIY, I'm going to be using this little sign. Now, I wanted to cut off the top of it, and I have to say it came off super easy. I'm using my little Arteza hobby kit. I love this thing. It comes with 3 different size blade housings and a ton of different blades to cut all kinds of things. So here I am trying to figure out, am I going to be able to do this or not? And all I had to do was score a couple of times just right here on the edge, and then I just snapped it. It came right off, and then I just gave it a little bit of a sanding, and voila, I've got the picture. Now, certainly you could just buy one of these sized ones already done at Dollar Tree, but this is the Mystery Box Challenge, so I did have to use this one, but it can't, like, really, it snapped off super, super easy. Now, I decided I wanted to make this a tiny little fall festive pedestal, so I'm going to be using also one of my challenge items, which was one of these little glass votives in the 3-pack. I've got this pumpkin colored Waverly chalk paint. It's a little bright orange for me, so what I ended up doing is putting some down and then adding a little bit of black paint to make it not so bright. I know here on camera it doesn't look that bright, but I don't know, I just wasn't liking the vibe of it, and I definitely wanted to make this pedestal something different. I didn't want to paint it white, so I'm definitely doing it orange to give it a little festive flair, and so I can use it for fall and for Halloween. I'm going to end up putting 2 coats on the glass votive, as well as 2 coats all over the little frame. So the next step will be to go ahead and assemble your little pedestal. I'm just going to be using some hot glue to attach this little base to the frame, but if you want to make this a more permanent thing, you certainly could use some E6000 or the Gorilla permanent adhesive if you'd like to use that. But again, I'm just using hot glue in case I ever decide I want to break this down. Then the last step is just to go ahead and assemble a little floral arrangement in this. So I picked up this pick from Hobby Lobby about 2 weeks ago. It's perfect size to go ahead and fill this little pedestal. I also couldn't decide between this moss that I had, which was from Dollar Tree, and then I also had this weird stuff that was meant to, like, it was part of a gift wrapping package. It kind of looks like spaghetti noodles. It's kind of stiff, but I ended up using this. Now, side note, I can't imagine trying to open a present and feed through this stuff because it was like, it wasn't soft, it was crunchy. I don't know, I digress. But anyway, I just felt like this was a little more fall vibe-ish. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get some of this and set it into my pedestal. I am not going to glue it down because when I go to do my, break down my pick and attach all those little pieces to this, I'm basically making an insert for this pedestal so I can pull the whole thing out and use this pedestal for something else. If I want to use it for Halloween, or if you just happen to really like the color orange, it could be part of your everyday decor. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on pulling this little arrangement together, and then this DIY is all finished. DIY is going to be using these pieces of a wind chime. So the first thing was to break it down, and then I stared at it for quite a while trying to figure out what I could make. Originally I was going to make a little frame thing, but then I decided I wanted to make a little fall canvas wall hanger. So I'm going to be using 2 of the pieces of bamboo. Luckily these were the exact same length, which made it super easy. And I'm just taking this piece of scrap canvas fabric that I have, and I'm going to measure out about how long I want my sign to be. And then once I do that, I'll trim the fabric down, and then I decided that I wanted my edges to be frayed. So I'm just going to pull the strings and hand fray it. I know on some fabrics you can just rip it to also get the frayed look. This is a heavy duty fabric, so it doesn't rip very easily. And also every time I try to do it that way, it just doesn't quite turn out for me. And I don't mind pulling the strings. It's kind of one of those like therapeutic things, like trimming a bonsai tree, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, once it's all frayed, then I'm going to start assembling my little hanging canvas banner sign. To assemble this, now that the sides are all frayed, I am going to just take some fabric hot glue. I use it from Surebonder. I absolutely love this fabric glue. I will definitely link, as I always do, any products that I use. Everything will be linked down below in the description box, as much of it as I can. And I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want it folded over. And I'm going to make it kind of loose so that I can slide the bamboo stick in and out of the little pocket I'm making. And I'm just going to use, like I said, some fabric glue and glue it down. And then I'll be ready to start working on the front of my sign. The sign is all assembled, and now it's time to work on what I want to put on the front. So I wanted something kind of 3-dimensional. So I have one of these little wooden pumpkins. This was from Dollar Tree last year in their fall stuff. I do hope they bring them back again, but luckily I had a few left over. And I'm just taking a piece of fall themed scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby also last year, but it's one of those that they usually always have, one of the separate little sheets. And I'm just tracing around the pumpkin, and then I'm going to cut it out. I'm just going to use some Mod Podge to go ahead and attach this scrapbook paper to the front of the pumpkin. After staring at my little canvas put together, I realized the bamboo color just wasn't quite working with what my fall vibe was going to be happening here. So I decided to take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle, and I'm going to go ahead and paint these bamboo sticks. Now the ends, I went in and did 2 coats to make sure they were fully covered, and then I started to paint the rest of the bamboo, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Because this isn't even going to be visible. But it's one of those things, kind of like if you like your backs finished, you just know that the whole thing is nice and finished. So that's what I'm doing here. Is just going to go ahead and give this a nice coat of paint so that that brown just represents more of a fall color than the bamboo, which kind of, I don't know, I think summer when I see the bamboo. To embellish my little pumpkin, I just took a piece of twine and I'm tying a little bow. And then I'm going to take some brown floral wire that I have so that I can make a little curly Q tendril coming off of my pumpkin. I'm just going to use one of my weeding tools that I have for my Cricut machines. And I'm just going to wrap the wire around that. Now, if you don't have like an ice pick or a thing like this, just grab a toothpick. That would work too, to get those nice tiny little tendrils. And then once that's done, I'm just going to hot glue both of these down to my pumpkin. Now, before I finished off the pumpkin, I did want to check my sign. So I put the bamboo pieces in, and I realized that my sign was a little long. So what I ended up doing was on the bottom one, I just did the same thing I did in the beginning. I just took the fabric, folded it over the bamboo, put some fabric hot glue, smushed it down, and it was good to go. Once that was done, then I started to go ahead and attach my pumpkin. I'm just going to use hot glue to get it attached to my canvas, and then I will attach the bow and the little tendril. The final step is to go ahead and put a hanger on here. So to do that, I just took this brown rope that I had. I tied a knot at the end of it. I squirted some hot glue into the inside of the bamboo, hot glued it in there, and then took the other piece with a knot, squirted some hot glue, shoved the knot in there, and that was it. That's the hanger, and this project is finished. You certainly could tweak this by stamping some letters. Originally, I was going to do that. I was going to stamp Harvest Farms on it with just my regular stamps and ink, but I had black ink and I didn't have any brown ink or orange ink, so I just went ahead and left the words off. But you could do that. You could also add some ribbon stripes to this if you wanted to on the fabric. Up to you how you want to embellish this, but this little sign is all finished. So this little project is one of those, do you really call it a DIY? I mean, technically you are still doing something, so we'll just go with that. I had this white container left over from an edible arrangement that my daughter got for graduation present, and now I'm taking one of the transfers that was in my box, and I'm just going to cut out the little wreath. Now I have wiped down this white container with rubbing alcohol, made sure it's clean, made sure it's dry, and this transfer went on super easy. I don't know if it's because this was plastic and it went on really well. I know on painted surfaces that there tends to be a little bit more trouble with these, not iron-on, but these transfers. But the key is just to make sure you just scratch it on, get it on there really good. Jennifer gave me a tip to use my fingernail. I also used the little edge of one of the pieces of bamboo wind chime, and I just rubbed it on really good. It went on beautifully, absolutely no issues whatsoever, and turned out super cute. It was just kind of a last minute thing. I saw the stuff, which means that technically I think I used everything in my box. Now, I didn't use anything from the cactus transfer page, but I'm going to group those two together as one and call this a successful DIY because, yeah, it meant that I ended up using almost every single thing in my box. Woohoo! Last DIY, I'm going to be using a smorgasbord of the items in the box, starting with this little chalkboard sign. So I'm going to go ahead and take the hanger off, and then I'm going to take some Waverly White chalk paint and give it 3 coats of paint. Sign is drying, I'm going to go ahead and prep these 3 little signs, and to do that I need to break them down. So I'm just taking these little beautiful floral portraits that were attached and throwing those away, and then I'm going to pull off the kickstand. Well, it's not a kickstand because people don't kick these to make them open. You know what I mean. Pull those off, and then I'm going to take my screwdriver because these little clips were screwed in. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew those, and of course I'll save those little clips because I have a DIY that I know for sure I'm going to be using those for later on. And then I'll set these aside so that they'll be ready when I'm ready to work on them. I've grabbed the cork sheet, and what I decided to do with this was I wasn't quite loving the color of this cork for this project, so I'm taking some of this brown cream wax, and I swear every time I pull this out in a project, I say, I've had it forever. It's not a lie. Like, I honestly think I've probably had this for 3 years. I'm not even joking. I know I've had it the entire time I've had my YouTube channel, so at least 2 years, or almost 2 years, I guess. But anyway, I'm just going to take a little Dollar Tree makeup sponge, and I'm just going to sponge this wax on just to kind of make it a little bit darker. I don't care if it's kind of, you know, splotchy. It's okay. I just wanted it a little bit of a darker shade. The cork is all sponge painted, and so now I'm just going to grab my sign, and then this cork it's sticky, so I'm just going to pull the backing and center it on my sign, and then stick this directly on top of my sign. I grabbed the dowel rods out of the box, and they were the exact number that I needed, and all I'm doing with these is this white section left. I'm basically just going to kind of frame this out. So I will hot glue down 5 dowel rods to the top here, and then 5 dowel rods to the bottom. Grabbed these 3 signs, and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly sand where I had pulled out the clips. It doesn't really matter, they're going to be covered up, but they were kind of sticking up a little bit. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue these 3 pieces together, and then once they're hot glued together, I'm going to take that plaid scrapbook paper again that I used in my other DIY because I'm really loving it, and I'm going to trace around this, cut it out. Then I will use some of my Gorilla Glue adhesive spray. I love this spray. I talk about it all the time. It's awesome because it's removable. So as you're working on a project, you can pull stuff up and stick it back down. Absolutely love it. And I'm just going to use that to attach my scrapbook paper. So I had this thankful metal word left over from last year from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and just hot glued it down, and now I'm just kind of going in some spots and making sure it's extra secure. And then once that's done, I'm ready to start pulling my sign together. I had these were the little wooden pumpkin and leaf stickers that Dollar Tree had last year. Again, they were in my stash from last year, and so I pulled them out, and now I'm just kind of arranging everything. The leaves I did paint with the Moss Waverly chalk paint, and now it's just a matter of pulling it all together. I'm going to hot glue this little thankful plaque down, and then I'm also going to hot glue all the little pumpkins and the leaves once it gets all situated. And then the last step is just to add a little hanger to the back. Now on the back, I do go ahead and finish off the back by adding some scrapbook paper to the back just to make it nice and clean looking. But that's it. The sign is all finished. And there you have it, 5 Dollar Tree DIYs made from items from my mystery box that I got from Jennifer from Little Bit of Common Crazy. Don't forget to click the playlist down below so that you can watch what all everyone else creates. Thank you to all these ladies for participating in the summer season. The next one up will be our fall season coming in a couple of months. Please let me know down in the comments below which one of these DIYs was your favorite, and if you are visiting me from any of the other ladies' channels, please say hi so that I can say hi back. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Bye!